What's up guys, Andy here from the Learn How group. In this video, I'm going to show you guys just a little quick tutorial about how I make YouTube thumbnails for our YouTube channel. And you can use some of these same tactics or techniques to make thumbnails for your YouTube, whether it's vlogging, how-to videos, DIY, really anything. This is just a really simple way to make these thumbnails. So let's get right to it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up your video file, your finished video file. If you want to just take kind of like a screenshot or a little piece from your video to use as your thumbnail. If you have a photo that you specifically want to use for your thumbnail, which I think is a really good idea, you can open your photo instead, but I'm going to show you how to do this using your finished video file. So right here I've got my finished video open in Photoshop. And when you open a video file in Photoshop, this little timeline window should appear. If not, you can just go up to the top of the screen and click Window and then choose Timeline so you can see that. But it should pop up. And this is how I go about making a thumbnail. So you can see this is what our videos usually look like. If I press play or the space bar, my video will play in Photoshop. And so you can kind of see this is our video, this is what it looks like. So is what I do is I scroll ahead until I find a good still frame of something that I like. And I'm looking at me, just like, I guess, a good clear. Okay, right there. That's pretty clear. The hands are a little blurry, but that's fine. But for the most part, it's in focus, and it's kind of like an interesting position. Like it kind of adds a little bit of curiosity about what's going on. So I'm going to use this right here. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here, and you're going to click on the lasso tool. And up at the top, you're going to want to change it to magnetic lasso. So after you have that selected, you'll see the little lasso tool with a little magnet bar. Now, this is a lot easier if you're against a blank background. So if you're taking a still shot of you for like your vlog thumbnail or whatever, I might personally recommend taking your still shot of you like doing a thumbs up or whatever with a blank background for this specific reason, and I'm going to show you why. So the magnetic lasso tool, you click, and I start in the bottom left corner. Once you click and you just drag, you don't have to click and hold, just click once. When you drag, it's automatically going to magnetically make little points right along the edge of your body. And if you have a pretty distinct color change like red and white right here, you can move pretty fast. So you can move pretty fast and you just drag it. See that little line? You just drag it I'm going to try that again. You just drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it, and just try and drag as close as you can to your outline. If you have a busy background with lots of stuff going on in the background, you're going to have to go a lot slower. And if you find a spot that like it's not clicking good, or not syncing good to your body, you can just click with the mouse. So like you can just kind of drag it close, click with your mouse, click with your mouse. I don't need to click because I have a blank background, so I can move pretty quickly. Like right down here, I'm going to click just to be safe. I'm clicking, go right up there, click, and then down the bottom, I can move a little fast. I'm just clicking just to be safe. Clicking, and then once you get to the end, when you see that little circle appear next to the icon, you can click and it will complete your outline. So now that you have the little ants, the little black ants crawling, I press Command C, go over here, create a new layer, Command V to paste. So now you can see over here there's a new layer, and if I hide this main video layer, it's just me and a transparent background. That's the first thing that I do. Now is what I do is for our tutorial videos, we have a little iPhone screen over here on the left. So with this main video layer selected, I'm going to drag to an interesting part of the iPhone screen. Right here is pretty interesting. It shows a little wave. It shows the actual voice memo. most of the stuff that's going on in the voice memo, I guess. Then you're going to click this box tool right here. It has the dotted lines. And this is what I do. I click and I outline just like an interesting part. I'm just going to do just this part of it right there. Again, Command C, copy, come over here, new layer, Command V, paste. So now I've got those two layers. Sometimes they don't appear, so you just kind of have to like drag them a little, drag them around. And for some reason that sometimes happens on my computer. So now I've just got me and I've got that part of the iPhone screen. And I like to resize myself. And now is what I do for my thumbnails. It's like I'll select this little voice memo screenshot. And when I click and drag like this, I hold shift down so it keeps the perspective. So it doesn't like warp it. Hold shift down and drag. And I'll like fill the entire screen, like right there. And I can move myself over a little bit if I want. Now is what I do for my thumbnails is I'll come over here just to the box tool and I'll just draw a big box in that other blank transparent area. And I'll make sure I drag that down in the order of layers so it appears in the very bottom. And there it is. Now I can move myself a little if I don't like the position of where I'm at. And then I do just a few simple effects, like nothing crazy. If the picture of you is really dark, there's one effect that I like to use, and that is in Image, Adjustments, Levels. You can do levels and then click and drag this little thing on the far right to the left to make it brighter, and the one on, the far right to make it brighter, and then you can drag the one on the far left to kind of adjust the contrast. And that can make you a little bit like brighter or darker. You can also do it with curves. Curves is kind of the same thing. It just has like a little thing that you drag that makes you brighter or darker. Same type of thing. Levels or curves. Those are the only two things I really use if you want to make yourself pop a little bit more, if you're kind of dark or not very focused or bright or whatever. Then the effect that I use right here is you click on the layer. For me, I go down to the bottom little part right here, FX. I do outer glow. So you can see I'm glowing white. So you can see here, these are kind of the settings I use, but these are really easy to manipulate and you kind of just mess with them. You can leave screen, but like spread and size is what you can really mess with. So spread, you can kind of see what that does, like by dragging that. And then size, you can see what that kind of does too. So I just find like a little happy medium that I like. Press OK. That's what I use for the outline of my body. Now, if you want to add some cool text, go over here to the text tool, click, and just type how to record. And then I create separate layers for each line of text. I do not press enter. It's a lot easier to manipulate the text if you do it like this. How to record voice. I'm going to do another text layer. Memos. So now I got all three of those. And now you can resize them same way. Click and you hold shift while you drag so that it doesn't warp the text. You drag it to about as big as you want it. If you come up in the corner and you get the rotate, you can click and rotate it a little. Press enter to finish. Click the next text. Click and drag it while holding shift again. You can rotate it. Press enter. Click the third. I'm going to move this one up a little. Click the third. Click and drag to make it big. Go over to the corner to rotate. Click and rotate it. Move it how you want it. Press enter. Now the last thing that I do for my thumbnails is I put a little box behind the text. So I'll come back over to my rectangle tool. And I'll click and drag a little box. And I'll make this box white. And then I just make sure I rearrange the orders over here in the layers section. and I make sure that that rectangle is behind the text. So it's right here, right behind how to record. And once again, if you come to the corner, you can click and rotate it a little. It's right there. Now if it's in front of my face, I can come over here to me, drag myself up in the order to get myself in front again. Over here on the right, it's just an order of how things are layered. So whatever's at the top is going to be on top of everything. Whatever's at the bottom is going to be on bottom, below or beneath everything. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to keep drawing boxes. Maybe I'll make this one black. And this one is for voice, so it's right here, right behind the voice. But so that voice is black, so I'm going to change that voice text to white. Now you can see it. And then I can adjust the size of that and rotate it a little. Press enter. And the last one, memos, I'll make that one white too. Just clicking up here, clicking white. Rotating it a tad. Maybe I just want to drag that one down a little bit farther. And put that one right behind memos. Okay. So there you go. Big text, so it's easy to read when it's a small thumbnail. And yeah, it's that simple. The last thing that you can do, just to play around a little, is go back with your layer selected. I like to do this for all my rectangles. I'll click on the rectangle, go back down here to effects, and I'll add a little drop shadow. So you can see right here on the outline, it just does a little shadow. I think drop shadows look really nice. With text, it adds just like a little bit of depth to it. So I'll do that, add a little drop shadow for all of my rectangles. And you can mess around with those settings to see how you like it the best. But that looks pretty nice. So yeah, then once again, if I don't like the order of things, like if I don't like how voice is sticking over my shoulder, I can once again drag my image layer up so that it's like in a different order. It's all up to you to kind of see how you like the order of things. But this is just a really simple thumbnail that I use, and it really takes like 5 minutes. Once you figure out how to do this, you can pound these out. You don't got to spend hours on it. Then when you export it, I always export as a PNG. It's just a higher quality image. And for YouTube thumbnails, I think it has to be less than 2 megabytes, but most of these will always be under 2 megabytes. Like usually mine are right around like 1.6. So I just do quick export as PNG and just save it right to my desktop and then use that as a thumbnail. So there you go. I hope you learned something in this just like little quick tutorial on how I do YouTube thumbnails. If you liked it, just give me a thumbs up and leave a comment, even if it's just like, hey, thanks for the vid or whatever. It really helps me out, as you probably know if you are a YouTuber. And then once again, if you feel like sharing it, that would be totally awesome. But thank you guys.